Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
A short film based on mental health awareness is being shot here in the Lloydminster area. The creators found inspiration through their own personal experiences. And our Shelby Clark has more on the story.
I hope that those that are struggling with mental health will watch this and find hope.
The film is called The Replacement. Chris began this project after dealing with his own depression and anxiety during a point in his career. He wanted to write an inspiring story on his issues through his life, marriage, and his troubles with battling mental health. He hopes this film will help others out there struggling with their own journeys.
That they'll identify with the crisis and the anxiety attacks that are happening in the film and realize for themselves that they need to do a cry for help and get support. And I encourage support for this film and that people help themselves by getting that support. And I want to do a charity for mental health so that those that are needing help in that they can get it.
Chris found others through Facebook by asking if anyone was interested in helping create this short film. A registered nurse working at the Lloydminster Hospital believes in mental health importance and was willing to step in.
I think that we have lots of supporting groups. We have lots of they can actually approach. So we are giving a hope through this movie. We are giving something they can get help from. So that's the essence of this movie. So that's we are trying to portray.
Staff and crew have been receiving help from other production companies and are hoping others can fund this project to help spread awareness. The plan is to have this short film play at local theaters and use proceeds from tickets towards a charity supporting people fighting depression.
So find someone that's not going to give up on you. And if you have any symptoms of what I'm depicting in this film, meet with a doctor and see what the right steps can be. Sometimes it's not a medication issue, sometimes it's an internal issue. And sometimes they need to fix something, and a counselor is a good option as well. So if you need help, get help.
Shelby Clark, Primetime Local News.
And now it's time for our look into the PTLN archives in this week's edition of Retrospect. Starting off Retrospect this week in 1994, an area producer takes a gamble growing a new crop.
We're learning as we go, and if we do it again, we'd probably do it better.
This is the first year Orst Boyko planted canola. He says he just decided he wanted to try something a little different.
The reason we decided to do something different was the old traditional crops, oats and barley, just don't seem to be giving us the kind of return we need anymore. And I've always been of the type to try something new, and I thought I'd go with canola.
Canola is a dwarf hybrid of the more common sunflower plant. It's used primarily for oil, but it can be marketed for birdseed or feed meal.
It's got a longer growing season than canola, but it's a lot shorter than the traditional sunflowers that we're growing. So where the traditional sunflowers is 120 to 130 days, the canola will be probably in that 100-day range, so more like our wheat crops.
And as the name implies, there are similarities between canola and canola, more than just the color.
As with most of our crops, there's going to be some disease problem. And with canola, what it really gets it is sclerotinia, or stem rot as it's known. Many of the producers have seen this within their canola fields, and unfortunately the canola is very susceptible to sclerotinia.
There are some things Boyko would do differently next time. This year he's seeded 7.5 pounds per acre at 3 inches. He says next time he'd go heavier on the seed and about half the depth. He plans on harvesting somewhere near the middle of October, and so far he doesn't foresee any problems. Although he says his neighbors might be of another opinion.
When you get a bag of seed and it comes from California, you kind of wonder if you're not a little bit funny when you put it in. But it's done reasonably well under the circumstances, and I don't feel sorry I done it.
And in 1998, a lightning strike sparks a fire near Lloydminster.
This was the scene early this morning. Flames engulfed the Devonian Lake Husky Battery in Lloydminster. Fire crews were called out shortly before 8 a.m., but believe the blaze started just before 7:30. Husky Oil says the fire was discovered by one of their employees shortly after a lightning strike.
At about 7:25 this morning, our worker was coming to work, and as you know, there was a thunderstorm in the area today, and actually just as he was coming in the battery yard, lightning struck our tanks in our facility here, and 2 of our tanks exploded and caught on fire.
The lightning woke some residents in the area and alerted them to the blaze.
Well, first thing I did was hear a thud in the house, and I didn't know what had happened, and then we looked out the window and there was a big cloud of black smoke coming across our yard, and so I figured that, and then I knew what it was. I knew it was a fire because it's happened before.
Flames could be seen from as far as 4.5 miles away. Fortunately, no one had to be evacuated from the area, but fire officials say they weren't sure what they were dealing with when they arrived at the scene.
Until you actually get to assess, if the tank's already opened up, like the top is already off this one, so it's burning. It's not that serious, but we don't know what's behind, what we can't see. That's what the real concern is.
It took fire crews close to 2 hours to battle the blaze. Firefighters responded from Kitscotty, Blackfoot, County of Vermilion River, and Britannia-Wilton. Husky also had a fire crew at the scene. Foam and water finally smothered the flames shortly after 9 a.m. Husky will now monitor the area and assess the damage. Total cost of the damage is not yet known.
And this has been our week in retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
Look who's back. Shelby Clark is here now.
I'm back.
It's good
Hopefully
to have you
everybody
back
missed
here.
me. I missed you all. You all.
I don't know how we got through the week without you here. No, it's okay. Abby did a good job filling in for you. It was lots of fun anchoring with her, but
of course.
We're back to normal now.
Yeah, glad to be back to reality. Of course, I was in Revelstoke, BC, and that was getting a bit scary at the end of the trip there because, some of that smoke started moving in from those wildfires. So I just really hope, everybody was safe over there. But
definitely a scary time in lots of parts of this country, hey?
Exactly. Those wildfires, they move fast. So it was pretty scary, but hopefully everybody's okay. But, back here in Lloydminster, and doesn't seem like we're having that issue here.
No.
So nice
but
to
the
be back to
temperatures,
reality.
I'm sure, are a lot colder here than you saw the last week, hey?
Yes, you are correct about that, Jace. As I move into our first look at your weather forecast, we have been cooling down. I hear that, the temperatures were very cool all of last week, pretty much. When I was in Revelstoke, BC, we were getting those 35 to 40 degree temperatures. So coming back here was definitely a switch up. Had to get back used to these cool conditions. But right now here in the border city, starting off this week, we are starting off cool. We're just sitting at 18 degrees, and we haven't been seeing too much sun peeking behind those clouds. So it's a very gloomy day, I would say, today. So I think it is kind of time to kind of bust out those light jackets and everything, kind of dress better for this cool weather as we are kind of adjusting to it again. But hopefully we will be seeing these temperatures start to warm up as we go on through the week and as we head into next week. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are seeing those teen temperatures as well, most sitting around 17 to 18 degrees. And then we have some that are looking slightly warmer. We have that 20 over in Edmonton as well as in St. Paul. And then we are starting to look at those 21s for Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and up in Lac La Biche. So we are looking at some 20 degree plus temperatures over on our Alberta side at least. So we are still seeing some nice temps. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, they are kind of matching with us with those conditions. On our Alberta side, most spots are just sitting at 20 degrees on our Saskatchewan side here across our region. Then we have 18 in St. Walburg and Maidstone, and then we have 19 down in Macklin and up in Isle Cross. They are seeing the nicest temperature there just at 21, but North Battleford is joining that train on the 20 degree mark. For them tonight, they will be going down to a low of 13. So we will be looking at those double digits for our evening low temperatures once again. So they will be expecting that for the evening, seeing a warm evening indeed, mostly cloudy conditions, no high chances of precipitation. And then for their Tuesday, daytime high of 17. So they will be cooling down from what they saw today, and they are expecting some brief morning showers. So going to be some wet conditions throughout the day tomorrow for North Battleford. Cold Lake tonight, they'll be going down to a low of 11, so they will be expecting those double digits as well for tonight. They are expecting more of a warm evening, cloudy evening. They won't be seeing a high chance of rainfall either. Then for their day tomorrow, Tuesday, daytime high of 20 degrees, so they will be hitting that 20-degree mark for tomorrow, but they won't be seeing too much sunshine peeking behind those clouds, unfortunately, so they will be expecting another gloomy day. For us here in the border city, we will be going down to a low of 12, so we will be expecting those double digits for our evening tonight. We are expecting more cloudy conditions. We aren't going to be seeing a high chance of precipitation tonight. And then for our Tuesday, we will be cooling down once again, seeing a daytime high of 18 for tomorrow, but we also will be expecting some cloudier conditions and a couple of showers in the morning, and kind of seeing that continue on through the afternoon. So if you're going to be outside whatsoever, make sure to have your umbrellas ready. We will be getting lots of rainfall throughout the day tomorrow. And ending off with taking a look at your 3-day forecast as we go past our Tuesday. We will be looking at that rainfall tomorrow for our Tuesday with that 18-degree mark for our daytime high. Then we will be kind of seeing that temperature continue on past that into our Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be looking at 19 on Wednesday, but hopefully we will be seeing a little bit more sunshine on Wednesday. Then we will be looking at 18 on Thursday and seeing a couple more morning showers. So be prepared. We will be seeing a lot of precipitation this week here in the border city. That's all I have for now for First Look, your weather forecast.
Looks like we'll have to bust out those umbrellas, Shelby. Thank you for that. Stay with us. Later in the show, we'll have a look at how the CPCA finals went on over the weekend. Back to Primetime local news. Lakeland College held their annual Feast on the Farm fundraiser last week at their Vermilion campus. Now, this event has been running since 2016 and is one of Lakeland's biggest fundraisers.
Feast on the Farm is truly one of our annual fundraiser that allows us to bring people to our amazing Vermilion campus. And together as a collaborative, we raise money tonight for all of our schools and our student-led learning and hands-on experiences that the students have here at the college.
Before the dinner, attendees had an inside look into the Vermilion campus, especially the very diverse student-led farm units, and then continued to learn about Lakeland College experience.
Students that we've reached out to that are actually part of a panel and part of our programs tonight, so they get to share with the guests a little bit about their experiences at Lakeland, as well as they're going to be joining some of the guests in the tent, sharing their stories about what they received from their time here at Lakeland.
And now let's take a look at today's agriculture prices. As we move to sports now, the Canadian Professional Chuckwagon Association has crowned its champion for the 2023 season. Here's our Thomas Wildman with more.
There's the sound of the Lambley. The final championship Sunday of the CPCA season. Everything came down to this final race of the season, and the 4 drivers who came into the show in the coveted top 4 spots were able to hold on to their lead. So the ultimate dash for cash was between Lightning Luke Tournier, Danny Ringette, DJ King, and Logan Gorst. There was a little delay, but the race was on. Lightning Luke was first out of the infield and was able to hold on to the lead throughout the race, with Danny Ringette finishing only a second behind. However, upon review, Tournier started ahead of the horn, which resulted in a 1-second penalty, bumping Tournier's 1:15.63 run into a 1:16.63, which was just slower than Ringette's time of 1:16.24, resulting in Danny Ringette being the CPCA champion, alongside his outriders Tyler McKenzie and Tegan LaRouche.
Luke was strong all year, and I got lucky tonight, and you know, it feels good. Let me be honest. You know, I don't really have words. This is what we all strive for. This is where we all want to do, is win one of these.
Ringette was also thankful for his outriders and happy they also get to be part of the win.
Tyler came back, and I was his first call, so Tyler McKenzie, and you know, he rode for me since this third show, and he rode for me every run, and Tegan's rode for me for most of the year too. So, and Tegan's doing a heck of a job, and he's an upcoming, or he's already an all-star. So no, the boys have been awesome.
Alongside Ringette's first ever CPCA championship win was Logan Gorse with High Point Driver of the Year, Logan Pethick as the High Point Outrider, and the Fans' Choice driver was Amber LaRue, and Tyler McKenzie as the Fans' Choice Outrider. Thomas Wildman, Primetime, Local News.
And now it's time for us to check in once again with Shelby Clark for another look at weather. Shelby?
Thanks so much again there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking an extended look at your weather forecast. We'll be starting off with our central zone of the provinces. On the Alberta side, we are still kind of matching with those temperatures with what we saw across the region. 21 looks like the warmest condition here up in Athabasca and Cold Lake, and then we start to cool down from there. Looking at 20 still in Edmonton, while most spots are just sitting at 17 and 18 degrees. So we are starting off this week pretty cool. Hopefully we'll be seeing it warm up as we go on through the week, but highly doubt it. We will probably be seeing these conditions kind of continue on through this week as we head into next weekend. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side here, they also are just looking at 21, seeing the warmest condition there with Prince Albert, and then we have 20 degrees in most spots on our Saskatchewan side with North Battleford, Meadow Lake, and Melfort, and then we have 19 down in Saskatoon as they are sitting at those teen temperatures, kind of matching with us here in the border city. But now as we go over to our northern zone, they are still looking quite warm. They are still kind of sitting around those mid-20s, so they are seeing nicer conditions than what we are kind of looking at in our central area. On our Saskatchewan side, we are looking at that 24 and 25 as the warmest condition there with Stony Rapids and down in South End. Then we start to slightly cool down. We have 22, 23 in Wollaston Lake, Uranium City, and down in Flin Flon. And then La Loche and Buffalo Narrows at the coolest condition there, just at 21. But for the most part, all these spots are just looking past that 20-degree mark. So starting off this week, still quite warm. Going over to Alberta side here in our northern zone, they are still seeing nicer conditions as well. Looking at 25 for High Level and Fort Chupan as they are seeing the nicest temperatures. 24 down in Fort McMurray, and then we start to slightly cool down with the rest just at around 21, 22 in these three spots here. But they all are still sitting past that 20-degree mark, so they are looking warmer than what we are looking at in our central area. And now as we go over to our southern zone, quite a switch up. You know, now they are kind of matching with us a little bit more in our central area, in our southern zone here. They aren't seeing too nice of conditions. Looking at 22 is the warmest condition there in Medicine Hat, and then we start to cool down from there. Looking at 19 over in Banff, and then the rest are just sitting at 17 degrees. So they haven't warmed up quite a bit past the weekend, trying to get past that 20-degree mark. They are still sitting at those teens. And going over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are probably looking at the coolest conditions that we have been looking at in our central, northern, and our southern zone now in our Saskatchewan side in this spot. 15 degrees now in Regina and Estevan, so they are even looking at those mid-teen temperatures. 16 in Moose Jaw, and the rest are just sitting at 17, 18 as they are trying to get closer to that 20-degree mark, but they are starting off this week kind of matching with us in our central area on a cool note. So we will be seeing that kind of continue on through the rest of the week. And now looking at some overnight evening lows in our surrounding area of what we can expect for tonight as we head into our Tuesday. We will be looking at those double digits kind of start up with Meadow Lake and down in Paradise Hill, expecting a low of 12 for tonight. Bonnyville will be expecting a low of 11, and Provost and Isla Cross will be expecting slightly warmer with a low of 13. So we are going to be seeing some nice evening low temperatures. It won't be too cool, but all of these areas won't be seeing a high chance of precipitation. They are expecting more just cloudier skies, so it will be more of a gloomy evening tonight for all of these spots. So still going to be seeing some nice temperatures. Looking at our hourly forecast for our Tuesday here in the Border City, like I was saying, we won't be looking at it warm up for us here in the Border City. We will be kind of expecting around 18, 19 for our daytime high. We won't be starting off too warm in the morning either. We will be looking around 13, 14 degrees right off in the morning. Through our mid-afternoon, we will be reaching that 18-degree mark, but then we will be cooling down quite a bit once we go on through tomorrow evening, because once we get past our Tuesday, we won't be seeing it warm up too much on Wednesday. We'll be looking at 19, and we will hopefully be seeing a little bit more sun on Wednesday, and hopefully that mixture of some sun and cloud will continue on into our Thursday as we head into the weekend. We are expecting a few more days with a couple more showers, so make sure you got your umbrellas still busted out and ready to go. We will be seeing a lot more precipitation, and then as we head into the weekend just in time, we'll be looking at some scorchers. 23 on Friday, expecting a beautiful day Friday as we head into the weekend, then looking at 26 and 28 Saturday and Sunday with some sunnier days ahead, so that's going to be gorgeous, and hopefully we will be seeing those warm conditions continue on into next week. That's all I have for now. RJ's Mackey will have more news coming up after the break.
I'm happy to be joined here today by President of the Roadside Responders Association of Saskatchewan, Brad Stratachuk. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Morning, good evening.
Now, on the 23rd, there's an exciting event going on at the Gold Horse Casino called Blue Lights and Burgers. Tell me a little bit about what this event is and why you guys are putting it on.
Years ago, the Towing Association kind of united across the province to be a stronger voice and learn from each other and promote safety and professionalism. And one of the members had decided on a social evening amongst first responders, which includes tow trucks, to promote the slow down, move over message. North America wide, there's one tow truck driver killed every 9 days. And so we wanted to get the message out to as many of the public driving people as we could that, you know, when you see flashing lights, you need to slow down. So we have trucks on display and just an evening of socializing pretty much.
This is a very important message that you guys try to get out. And you know, in Lloyd, we have the Slow Down and Move Over campaign every year. So why is it so important to get this message out in multiple different ways?
Saskatchewan in 2017, a tow truck driver was run over down in the Esterhazy area. And so the towing company, John from up there in Lloyd at Action Towing, he built a Spirit Ride, which we patterned after the US, and it's a promotional piece. So we use it to travel around the province and promote safety. And the roadside one that you spoke of, that started in honor of Courtney Schaefer from down south in Saskatchewan that was run over on the side of the road. And so we have that Slow Down, Move Over campaign. It's kind of gone nationwide through different auto clubs. And it's just to, you know, if we can reach 10 people that get the message and they tell 2 people, you know, that's a whole bunch of people that we don't have to worry about, so that we can get home at the end of the day to our families. All they got to do is slow down a few seconds, you know, to get to their families.
Yes, word of mouth is perfect for promoting really anything.
And we appreciate the media helping us out to get that message out to the general public.
And that's exactly why we're here. Now, this is going to be a fun event for people. And what can they expect when they come out to the Blue Lights and Burgers event at the Gold Horse?
There's I believe the Lloydminster Rescue are doing the cooking, and there's donations with for if you want to give a couple of dollars or more, it's up to the people there. Or just come and meet us and ask about the job. There'll be fire trucks on displays. I think there's substantial trip to Edmonton Fantasyland Hotel being offered as a prize as well, and just meet the people that do the work. And of course, the kids are always interested in trucks, whether it's a tow truck, a fire truck, and it's kind of a camaraderie of different people that work on the side of the road. For example, Lloydminster lost a tire fella a few years ago in Saskatchewan. They got run over, so the tire industry has joined with this message as well. And it's just to remind people that there's a human being standing on the side of the road, and you can catch the game on the radio if you're racing to get home and watch it, and just to remind folks to slow down and let us do our job and get home.
The event is certainly important to get the message across to people when they are driving on the highway. Now, is there anything else that you would like to add that I may have missed?
When the parking lot's full of different emergency vehicles with all their lights on, it certainly attracts attention, and we do get lots of folks driving by kind of wondering what's going on, and they pop in and then they get that message as well. And it's just an evening of camaraderie. For example, the towing industry can be very fragmented and competitive, and in this event in Lloydminster is actually being put together by 4 towing companies that are in heavy competition in your area, and so just to see that they can set all that aside for one night to do some good, and it really helps the whole industry, whether it's a police truck or a fire truck or an ambulance on the side of the road. That highway patrol guy that comes by next week because of this event might say, hey, I'm just going to stop back here a quarter mile and slow people down and help each other out.
This event is taking place on August 23rd at the Gold Horse Casino. What time does it start and go till? And if anybody needs more information on this event, where can they go to find it?
You can contact any of the local towing companies in Lloydminster. You can check out the Roadside Responders Association of Saskatchewan Facebook and website. And you're not going to miss us. It's in the front of the casino parking lot, and I believe they're cooking from 6 to 9. So drop by any time in that time, and most tours will stick around pretty late visiting. So I might shut the grill off at 9, but we'll be there. As long as there's people asking questions and wanting to be there, we'll be there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I think this event is a fantastic way to get the message out when people are driving on the highway to slow down and move over when they see anybody parked on the side of the highway.
Thanks, Abby. You have a good rest of the week.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm happy to be joined here today by Janelle Owens with the Lloydminster Mall. Thank you so much for joining me today.
For having me, Abby.
Of course. So summer has just absolutely flown by, and it's coming to the end very quickly, especially for kids going back to school. Now the mall, obviously, people are looking for back to school outfits, books, supplies like that. So what is the mall doing to get parents and kids ready for this new upcoming school year?
So lots of our Lloyd Mall stores are having their annual back to school and end of season sales. So we encourage everyone to come down and see the awesome deals we do have going on right now. And then Lloyd Mall has our annual Scan and Win locker event that started today and runs until Sunday, August 27th. And we are already having a ton of fun with that.
And can you go into details a little bit about the Scan the Locker and that contest and what people should know about it, if they've never heard of it?
Absolutely. So our customers can make an in-store purchase at any store in the mall. They will receive a promo code with a QR code on it. They can scan that code. It reveals an instant prize or a locker combination to come and try to unlock one of 4 grand prize lockers. And we have some pretty great grand prizes.
Is there any hints that you can give on what those grand prizes are, or do you want to keep that completely under wraps?
No, that I will share for sure. So there's 4 grand prizes. One is a 9th generation iPad. One is a 50-inch Samsung Smart TV. There is a $500 Lloyd Mall gift card and a Experience Lloydminster package, which has gift cards to May Cinema, Boston Pizza, Lloyd Lanes, the BioClean Aquatic Center Pass, all in a Herschel backpack filled with school supplies.
That sounds amazing, and those prizes are really, really great. Now, is there restrictions to this contest? Like, is there certain guidelines that people have to follow, whether they have to prove that they have children going back to school, or just anybody who makes a purchase at any of the stores will receive a code?
Anybody that makes a purchase at a participating store will get a code.
Perfect. Now, we were talking a little bit about off camera, but the mall went through a massive flood. And so a lot of places were kind of closed down, especially the food court. Now, you wanted to mention some upcoming info about the food court that people should know about.
Yeah, so we definitely did go through a bit, but we do have some exciting news. So our leasing department has secured a new vendor for us, which is Maurice's, and it's a national women's clothing store. And they are opening up a large retail space in the last quarter of this year. So we're very excited about that. And as well, we just want to let everyone know that we are actively working on expanding our food court. And we have many opportunities from national brand vendors that have expressed interest in Lloyd Mall, but we need business operators to connect with them. So if anyone is looking for a new business venture, please go to lloydmall.com or call the Lloyd Mall admin office, and we will be happy to connect you with our leasing department.
And is there anything else that you would like to add that I may have missed for back to school or for the mall in general?
Honestly, we are just really having fun with this. We've already had a couple instant prize winners, so we just want everyone to come on down and join in on the fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully this gets kids a little bit more excited about having to go back to school and sit in those desks every day. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Abby.
And finally, Shelby, before we go tonight, we have a very cute story.
I'm so excited
up.
for this. This is a great, cute story to have with my first day back.
Yeah, it's perfect for Shelby. Now, we saw earlier in the show that a new CPCA champion was crowned on Sunday, but that wasn't the only race taking place.
On your mark, get set, go! We have champion. Don't panic, ladies and gentlemen. We've got it under control.
How cute is that?
That's adorable. Oh my gosh. I wish I could have been there in person.
Now, this was the second annual Corgi race took place on Championship Sunday at Halstead Downs. Close to 20 cute Corgis raced in multiple heats. And of course, finally, one came out victorious. Love to see them running around after. Looks like they had a blast.
An absolute blast. Like, look at all this cute footage. I
It's
feel
too
like
precious.
Yeah, you wouldn't ever want to leave there that
No.
day. I feel like you just want to stay there and hang out with all the corgis at once.
Well, we got to give a shout out to our cameraman, Carter, who was out there getting these cute doggos. Look at that right there, tongue wagging out. Love to see it.
All the different colors of all the different corgis and everything. I absolutely love to see it. I'm actually
It's
very
nice
jealous
to see
of
the
Carter.
variety as well,
Yeah,
hey?
I'm very jealous of Carter. I wish I could have been the cameraman that day.
Yeah, good job, Carter. Love
Yeah,
to see
good job.
that. Great way to start out our week here on Primetime Local News. Thank you all so much for joining us. Great to have Shelby back here. We'll see you back again tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.